Welcome to Spam Filter for Your Brain, bite-sized ponderings on how our thoughts influence our behaviour and our lives, and because we're all connected, how our thoughts impact the world. I'm here to help people reconnect with their bodies and declutter their brains. And I don't believe that we should just magically know how our emotions and our thoughts impact our lives if no one ever teaches us. So let's learn this stuff together. I think all of us have probably been in a situation where we can look at the behaviour of someone else and think, wow, I wish they hadn't done that. And sometimes that person can be us, right? We can look at our own responses to things and go, I wish I'd behaved in a different way. And most of us can probably think of some situation or other which just feels a little bit spiky. Or maybe you can think of something which is you'd consider to be an out-and-out conflict, something that you really don't want to be happening anymore. Somewhere where you're trapped thinking about the story of what has happened to you and how someone else has behaved. And when I think about conflict resolution, when I think about how I interact with other people, more often than not, when I find myself running over a story in my head about who said what or who did what or how things have ended up here, it's nearly always the same scenario running through my head, that I have got lost in their story. I have got lost in what I think they should have done differently, they should have said differently, how I think they should have behaved. And I know that when I'm lost in trying to magically make someone else behave in a way that they haven't, what I'm doing is taking myself out of my own power, out of my own agency, and trying to control something that I've got no control over. It actually becomes rarely about what has been said or done and becomes more about how I want things to be different. When I realise that I have more control over what I think, how I respond to things, it actually gives me just 2% of sort of calm and ability to step out of the situation from being hot, fiery and hurt quite often, and gives me a space to be able to think about, where am I in this story? Because most often when things go wrong, when things become difficult with another person, the thing that I'm losing most often is my sense of self. When I get lost in other people's stories, what I'm doing is trying to control how other people interact with me rather than how I respond to them. And as soon as I can get back into that place of working out how I respond to them, then I can feel like I have some kind of direction over my own life, my own responses, my own story. And the way that I try and do that, it was with the sense of radical curiosity. It's not, this shouldn't have happened. It's, what else could be going on here? And sometimes that does extend to the other person. What else could be going on for them? Could I have read this in the wrong way? Could I be misinterpreting this? Is there any way that I could look at things from where they're standing and see this in a light that isn't the negative spin on it that I have placed on it? And also, who do I choose to be here? Not what have they done, or they shouldn't have said that, or that thing wasn't okay, but who do I choose to be now that it has happened? Now that that thing was said, now that that thing was done, who do I choose to be for myself here? And with those two questions, what else could be possible? And who do I choose to be? Suddenly, I'm able to reel it back in to where I want to stand as I'm walking through the plot line that we're all writing for ourselves, and I'm able to start creating a story that is more in alignment with the things that I want in life. The sense of radical curiosity, really stopping, pausing and looking around at what else could be true, has been revelationary for me. I hope it's useful for you too. I'll speak to you next week. If you've been enjoying what you're hearing on the podcast, you will love Self-Care School. Self-Care School is longer versions of this, more in-depth and more personalised. We have a whole hub of courses from body image to boundaries, perfectionism, time management, and a whole range of other topics. You name it, there's probably a course on it. But most importantly, we also have a weekly group coaching call where you get to apply this stuff to your everyday life and get support to try and untangle your own story from some of the emotions that you might not be enjoying in your life. If you would like to learn how to apply this work to your specific situation and to be building a life of your dreams, I would love to see you inside. Do pop over to selfcareschool.co.uk.